Now, this isn't some NGO. We're talking about the Red Crescent here, Matthew.
That's right. The Iranian Red Crescent saying they're going to contribute to aid ships carrying food and medical supplies, doctors, medical equipment as well, to what they say will be an international flotilla which is currently being organised and which will again challenge this Israeli naval blockade of the seas right behind me, the Mediterranean Sea, and the blockade around the Gaza Strip a short distance from here. This is the Ashdod port. It's been the centre of international attention, and if you like, the centre of that flotilla kind of warfare that we're seeing, they're witnessing here over the past couple of weeks with these aid workers again and again trying to break that blockade of the Gaza Strip being enforced, Israel says, for security reasons. There could be a lot more activity with that regard in the weeks and in the months ahead, Hala.
And where you are there in the port of Ashdod, is what is the reaction to all of this there? I'm always curious as time goes by if reaction to a story changes or evolves inside of Israel. Has that been the case?
You know, there's a certain amount of debate inside Israel about whether or not the Israeli Navy did the right thing by intercepting these ships, or at least conducted the operation in the right way. But Israelis seem to have come together very much in saying, look, we need to do this. We need to enforce this blockade of the seas around the Gaza Strip, because if we didn't, then that would mean unfettered access to anyone who wanted to bring in weapons to the Palestinian militant groups like Hamas, like Islamic Jihad, who would then use those weapons against Israeli civilians. That's what people on the ground say. That's what the Israeli government says. And so even though there's a lot of international pressure on the Israelis now to look again at this policy, to look again at this blockade, they're standing fast at the moment. They are looking at ways to ease the humanitarian situation on the ground in Gaza and perhaps to allow more goods in than they've previously allowed. But this naval blockade, the Israeli government says, is here to stay, Hala.
What can you tell us about what happened off the coast of Gaza with those Palestinians who were killed today, Matthew?
Yeah, earlier today, Israeli military forces telling us that they'd identified a number of what they believe to be Palestinian militants, 4 of them wearing diving suits in the waters off the Gaza coast. They believe they were about to embark on a mission, they say, to kill Israelis, and so they opened fire, killed 4 of them. We've also spoken to the Palestinian side. One of those Palestinian militant groups, the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigade, confirms that these 4 people were indeed members of its organisation, but says that they were merely training for future missions. So, you know, a minor discrepancy there in the 2 stories between the 2 sides. But what it does do is draw attention once again on this ongoing naval presence that Israel has in the waters off the Gaza Strip. It takes one form there with Israeli forces attacking militant groups who are operating in that Bay area. And as, of course, we've seen over the past couple of weeks, also the Israeli Navy intercepting protest ships carrying humanitarian aid and human rights activists off the coast of Israel and the Gaza Strip.